I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
All right, so I get to say it. Right on.
Sickest night ever. Is this? What are we doing? No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, 3-time podcast host, and alongside me is Snake Plissken and Juan Keel 43.
What up,
Switch it up, and welcome back, Jake.
Thank you, Gunner. Appreciate that, Hunter and Colton. Thank you as well. Always good to be back. Let's start this thing off right. Hunter, appreciate the intros. Looking great. We're gonna keep that one going, or no? We're gonna come back.
I didn't call you. I called you Jake.
I know. I'm doing callbacks. Okay, we're seeing who's a listener from back in the day that might find that little nugget later. Okay. Let's just see. Let's see. Colton's all about putting breadcrumbs out there for people to follow during his little fiasco of 52.
I want to do a callback. I want to do a sad. I want to do
52. What the heck are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You're just talking to talk.
I don't know, which is literally the title of this episode should be. I don't know. We'll get to it, but I don't know.
I'll tell you the title after I give you my sad boy news.
Okay.
And I give the podcast world the sad news.
What's up?
Hit us with it, brother. I know what it is.
There's never gonna be any more Wally Buck giveaways.
That is true. That is true. That is national news. So please update the people on the national breaking news.
So, yeah. I mean, I think it actually. I don't even know what I saw it on, but yeah, it's sad. They closed them all. It's over.
It's got to be regional news. I don't know if I'd go national.
It's national news. They closed all the Penguin Point franchises. It's a staple of the community, especially of North Central Indiana.
Yeah.
Lots of locations. Lots of people that will be disappointed to go get the Wally burger with crinkle fries
and Wally sauce.
And the Wally sauce.
I have so many memories of Penguin Point. I'm really sad that it is gone. I hope it's just something that they're recouping and they're just gathering the troops and they're going to open one store.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Yeah, it could be that. I think that there might be a play on the market. I saw maybe a little bit of rumors out there on the dark web that Stickler Ventures maybe was elbowing its way into maybe picking up the rights.
One franchise is all we need. We just need one.
I think there's commercial real estate in Bourbon. It's right off of 30. Be a good spot. Stickler Ventures can make that happen.
Hey, why not?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor on the web. Okay?
You give him free pub? Is that what we're doing?
That's the rumor on the web. Okay, the dark web. So
the dark web.
Good luck. It's just little birdie told me that.
The dark web to you is your lights off with you on the computer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, I don't know. Remember, this is mystery box. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Mystery box.
Okay. Well, Gunnar, you gave your bit of news. I've got I got a shout out to a one person in the empire that we like to know be called. He likes to be called Frankie Vegas. Frankie, it seems like you got a real problem with me in some way, shape, or form. So if that's where we're gonna be, that's what we're gonna do. Guess what we're doing for 89, brother? We're gonna get together for an episode and we can hash out everything you got wrong with me, brother. So Frankie, be on your toes, brother, because guess what? I'm coming for you. Okay. And unlike your co-host who said he's gonna come in dry, because he said that's a quote. Yeah. Think about that, Gunner. Yeah. I'm not. I'm coming for you. Take that as you may.
Somebody clip that and post that on TikTok.
Phrasing.
Your dad said it on an 80s show and I lost it. I about drove off the road and he just said it and it just missed everything. And I was like, come on, how come nobody like phrasing?
That's a generational gap, I think.
So yeah, looking ahead to episode 89, we have our certified rotten movie
Part 2.
selection. Do we want to give the movie that we want to watch? So
Yeah,
that
if
way
anybody-
maybe the audience.
If anybody wants to watch it, yeah, it's Cannonball Run.
Classic Burt Reynolds movie.
Burt.
So Jake, have you seen Cannonball Run?
No, I have not. So I have nothing to contribute to that other than I
You're
feel
not gonna watch
uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable, and I'm just glad I'm not in the same room as Cole. Because
Brother,
was
we
interesting.
roomed together.
Yeah, I know.
You probably
Those
saw
years
things
ago.
that nobody wants to see.
That's right. Okay. Some of us have grown up.
Oh, shut up! I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not believing that from you. Not gonna happen. Just
Okay.
not gonna happen.
Okay. It's great.
So
Thanks for coming on, Jake. Wow, this intro has been a cluster.
yes, it is. This is episode 88. We're recording this in a very weird time because Thanksgiving is next Thursday. We're recording the Thursday before. We're just trying to make it so we have time for our families. We don't have to worry about recording. And of course, we wanted Jake to come on because this episode is an all about us episode. And this episode is going to be called the Call Guys Dadcast because we got three daddies here, and one of them very new, me, Colton, a couple of years, and Jake. You've
yeah, I'm coming in as a seasoned vet, signed a veteran minimum contract, so just glad to be here on the team, be able to bring you guys some wisdom. I feel a lot like Vince Carter, so I'll just talk about, back in the day, going between your legs was a big deal. Now everybody does it, but I was first.
You first.
I haven't seen anybody jump over a 7-footer.
Right, that's true, and that was a bad. I'm sorry, another basketball reference, but that is Saturday All-Star dunk contest reference. Gunner, Vince Carter, he's Air Canada, as he was also known, went between his legs, and
Air Canada.
Very high profile dunk contest.
I'm sure I've seen that video.
He did the honeycomb.
He put his arm, put his elbow almost in the rim.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He did the 360 windmill with that was full extension. That one was also nasty. So
that one's
yeah. I mean, I did just see the clip of which was the dunk contest where Aaron Gordon went up against Zach LaVine. That one was a great final. That was where Aaron Gordon did the Magic mascot was on the hoverboard and was turning, and then he came back, palmed it, dunked it. It was
ISO brother. Let us know if you watch that NBA dunk contest. Jake, as you probably know, because you may listen to us still, ISO is our closeted NBA fan, and he's a Pistons guy. I'm worried about him, but the young Pistons actually don't look as bad as I thought they're going to be.
I mean, the Pistons have a championship before the Pacers, so I mean, there's not. I mean, he's got a leg to stand on there with Tayshaun and Chauncey, and Rip and Ben Wallace.
He's got the end of the 80s.
Like everybody knows, the bad boys or whatever. But people overlook that Chauncey Billups and the Tayshaun Prince, and they overlook that team. Absolutely. Seriously, if you're not a Pistons fan or an actual NBA fan, you don't even realize that the Pistons won the championship.
Fan. Okay, NBA fan, not a non-NBA fan. I'll give you that one. Because I was how do you not like Ben Wallace? Good Lord.
They would not
Malice at the Palace?
If you're a non-NBA fan, okay, sorry, Colton. This isn't a dad episode right now. It's an NBA episode, okay? NBA history.
Gunner. That was Gunner.
Same thing.
That's okay. Names are hard. You know this.
This is the whole listen, you can't call me out on the bit as I'm doing the bit while the bit is happening.
I just wanted to make sure that you know that you were being called out for the bit. That's all I care.
Who is this guy?
That's all I care about.
I come on here, I do my thing, I get invited on, and I get railroaded by this guy. So anyway,
every time.
So if you're not, casual NBA fans would know, Larry Bird Magic Johnson rivalry. They would know Michael Jordan. Okay, they have exactly. They
Kobe.
have this
the Kobe.
Then they go Shaq and Kobe. But there is this period of time that is just vacant that nobody really remembers.
The early 2000s,
right? And it's hey, by the way, the Detroit Pistons, coached by Larry Brown, ended up winning a national or a world championship. So that did happen. Okay. It is there. ISOCAM, if you remember that. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, love to hear your thoughts on Blake Griffin jumping over a Kia. What a great sponsorship for Kia. Okay. He got like a Sportage out there and jumped over it and dented the mess out of the roof. Would love to hear you talk about that as well. So I'm here for it. If we just want to do ISOCAM, get on here. We just rant and rave about NBA. I'm also here for that. But that's not why we're here. Okay. We are here for the Dad's podcast and also a question of the pod. Do we have a question of the pod for tonight?
Do we?
I don't know, Jake. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to bring it.
That's right. You've heard it here. I am vastly underprepared for tonight. Colton called me and said, "Hey, would you like to be on the pod?" I said, "Yes." And then I wanted to ask what it was about, but I told him, "Don't tell me what it's about. I'm going to come in. It's going to be a mystery box. We're just going to shoot from the hip on this bad boy, okay?" No Googling allowed, which is great because the topic's going to be right in there. In the pre-production meeting that we held before we got on here, I think the question that I narrowed down was to ask both of you gentlemen, as well as all the listeners, in your daily life, or even like within a week span, is there a movie quote that you find yourself gravitating towards that you've used in common verbiage when interacting with your coworkers or your wives or just any other scenario like that you just really have honed in on that? To give you an example, corn dogs, Jackie corn dogs from Semi Pro is one that I use and have said there are many more that I use, especially when I'm talking to my brother, but that's one area. So I would love to hear what you guys have applied for movies to your life. The floor is yours. Colton, I will let you go first.
Let's put a dead animal on him.
Buttercream. Rush Hour 2 is a big one. That is a big one. Jackie again. That one.
Jackie again.
That one. That's in the bloopers. That's not even in the movie.
Yeah, that's gonna say.
Colton, what do you go by in your daily life? What's something that you quote on?
I mean, I do mostly songs, but if I'm doing like movies, it's probably anything from Shaun of the Dead. Is classic. You could throw in an Austin. I probably do Scotty Don't a lot.
Scotty Don't.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Scotty Don't.
Okay, all right. So an Austin Powers throwback onto that.
Yeah.
Some good Michael Myers movies.
Knights of Columbus. Anchorman.
Oh,
Knights of Columbus. Yeah, that's another good one.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is it's just like, it's like the heat of the moment and it's just telling me what my heart feels.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
it's so hard because there's so much useless movie knowledge up here.
It ain't useless. Okay. It's got a place and a purpose, and it is there for you. And if you can recall it and bring it out, it's more than appropriate. All right. Gunter, how about you?
So here's what I told Golden when you were up. I think you were turning the game on.
What game? There's no game on.
I see it in the reflection of your glass. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what Jake's turned. That's what Jake's turned. Like,
no, I told him, I was like, all this stuff comes to me in like a split second, right? Like if I'm quoting a movie, it's because something happened and I think of that at like that moment. And today I actually had a moment. Me and my boss were sitting in the office and we were talking about somebody and how it was like their brother's daughter's husband's uncle. And then that made me think of Spaceballs. I'm your uncle's, and then I quoted that right there. And I always get it wrong. It's never right because I can never remember the sequence of how he says it. So that's one of them. Obviously about anything from Bill and Ted, all day long. Just dust in the wind, dude.
We're all just dust.
And then that 70s show is a show that I grew up watching pretty much every single day when I came over from school. And if the weather's bad, I always get the, "Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather." Or Mr. Sexy's Pizza. When I answer the phone, I always say Mr. Sexy's Pizza.
Yeah.
Those are.
Oh man, I know one you're missing.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Which one?
Oh, come on, man. What makes me
Just
laugh
give it
every single time?
Oh, give me a picture of this Spider-Man. Every time. but it's just so random. There's no like. Some of them have like a reasoning that I say them, and then most of the time they just don't.
So what if the scenario comes in that you're sizing up a shelf, or something, and you're like, I think something can fit in there, or you're like when you're loading luggage into the car, right? And you're like packing the car and you get everything just right in the car. What do you say? What do you say when you're everything right? It fits in there just right. What do you say? I hope people are shouting at their radio dials at this point. It's a Jim Carrey.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
Yep. Yep, I use that one.
All the time. I use that one all the time. Actually, we did shower night not too long ago. And I always do Billy Madison when it's Aurora's turn to wash her hair because she does shampoo and conditioner.
Shampoo is better.
It's like clean the hair.
What are you looking at, Swan?
Yeah, I quoted that, and she says, "What are you saying?" It's a movie. Just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
No, shampoo is better.
Oh,
Happy Gilmore? You didn't that one?
Constant.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for appeasing my question, my off-the-cuff question, as this mystery box episode gets rolling.
Colton, you were right. Most of mine would probably be Adam Sandler or Bill and Ted. And I was telling Colton before that, like, one of my ones today that just came up out of nowhere was, good news, Eric Lemonsoff died. But I was thinking about Click for some reason. I don't know why. It just popped in my head. And
yeah, Gunner all day. Anything Adam Sandler. I was thinking Big Daddy, and
Big Daddy. Love Big Daddy.
I thought of Big Daddy for you and Billy. Billy Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back to school. Back to school.
Be nice to the delivery guy. It's not his fault he can't read.
He pop anonymous. Scuba Steve. Damn you.
I'm
Scuba Steve.
I'm Scuba Sam. Scuba Steve's father.
Well, hello, Julian.
One that Jordan always says is the old guy that's in the courtroom, and when his friend's on the stand, and he's like, that Canadian beer's like moonshine, and the old guy goes, "Hell yes."
Hell yes. Who do you want to win the game? The damn Jets.
Jets.
Yeah. Oh, that is one of my favorite. Okay, wait, Jake, I have a question. We're doing dads.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have a movie that makes you, or like, that has based on like the main character's a dad and he's doing something as a dad? Like the main plot is him trying to overcome something as a dad. Is there a movie out there that you watch that makes you feel like, yeah, that's me as a dad?
Oh man, that epitomizes me as a dad. I don't know. I don't know that I
Gladiator?
think of one that's yeah, because I come upon my wife and son crucified and then commit to getting revenge on Caesar, who has sentenced them to death, and then I fight in the Colosseum. Yeah, absolutely. Joaquin can stick it because he's a cheater. Okay, he's a dirty cheater. Stab me in the side before we get out there, Joaquin. Yeah. And then Joaquin went insane and became the Joker.
Listen, the only thing I think you've learned in this history class is that Caesar is a salad dressing dude.
Salad dressing
dude. No, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of movies that have different aspects of fatherhood. Typically though, what makes a good story and makes a good movie is like the flawed father who has some issue and isn't really fulfilling everything that he should be doing, and then realizes that and then changes for the betterment of his children. So
say, that's my boy.
Yep. You're welcome, Gunner.
He got a back tattoo. Andy Samberg. Adam Sandler.
That is not it. That is not it. Okay.
Oh my.
I will say there is one show, not movie, that we currently watch that I do appreciate. That it is more of I'd say it's even maybe of a parent show as it is a kid's show, and that is on Disney, and that is Bluey.
Yellowstone.
And no, it's Bluey. Like it.
Yellowstone.
Listen, if you haven't watched Bluey, if your kids just aren't quite old enough for it, like wait until you get watch Bluey, because it is a parenting episode just as much as it is a show for kids. And it shows a lot about how you can be an active dad, how you can be involved in their imagination, how you can support them in that and teach them lessons within the world that they're in. Because it's a lot of curiosity, right? Like my daughter's 6, my son is 4. And so there are new things that they haven't seen and haven't tried and haven't done and haven't experienced. And Bluey does a good job of kind of working through that and explaining that in a little bit. So that'd be one for sure.
Nice. Bluey. Yeah, I've heard a lot about shows. Like that, kids shows, and I don't watch any of them. But
well, you're due. Okay, so you can dive into it early. Actually, one of my favorite ones in Bluey is the episode called Fairy Tale. And yes, I do know the names of them, Colton. I do. It's a story. It's a story about how the dad Bandit and the mom Chili met. And it was back in the 80s, and they described all the stuff that was in the 80s. And it was described riding your bike without a helmet, and how skids were a really big deal. And they just keep saying it was the 80s, dude. You could stay out late. Your parents didn't know where you were. At one point, one of them they get jinxed. So they say jinx, and then they can't talk until someone says your name, right? And it's that whole rule. And then the dad, which is actually grandpa in it, has a statement where he goes, "What's a word I can say so all of you can't talk?" That was just a great line.
It felt so relatable.
It did. So I don't know that I know a movie off the top of my head. But I'd say Bluey right now is one that I'm yep, that's the dad I want to be, is active with my kids and making sure that I can teach them good life lessons.
Nice. Colton, do you have any movies that you feel like?
Man.
No.
I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Wow, that was great. I spoke for the last 3 minutes, came up with a show. And what were you doing that whole time?
Watching
were you just
Malik,
watching
Malik hit a runner with his left.
Is this another episode where you don't listen? I run through the Colts schedule, okay, and then I tell you they don't have a primetime game, and then they have a flex game, and then you're just oh, well, they've got a flex game. And yeah, Colton, I just said that. You listen. Turn the game off and focus.
I am focusing.
No, you're not. We need more out of you. Okay.
You need more out of me?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So we're gonna run. We're gonna run. Okay. And we're gonna run the puke. We're gonna run the puke play.
We're gonna run the puke.
That's right. Run the puke.
I've never puked before in my life.
No.
They said it's a miracle.
You ever been punched in the jejunum? Sorry. Now we're on semi-pro.
What's that?
Semi-pro. Jackie.
Jackie, don't you throw up on me.
All right, before we get really deep into that stuff, I do want to ask Jake, what are you watching lately? You watching anything?
Good question.
Oh, I'm watching right now. I'm watching Ted Lasso, and I am loving every minute of it. Nice. So if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. Okay. Apple, I think, will give you a 3 months free pass if you have an iPhone. If you have an Apple ID, they just give you 3 months for free. There are 30-minute episodes. I'm already through season 1. It is great. It is well worth it. Well worth the hype. It is not overrated at all. I think it's got 11 Emmy nominations or whatever. So
yeah, it's been doing well in the award shows.
Well, yeah,
who's the main actor in that? I cannot think of
Jason Sudeikis.
There you go.
Yep. He's very involved in the writing of the show as well. He's credited at least as executive producer and I believe as writer. And so it only has 3 seasons. It's not going to have a fourth. Like the story arc is done, and so you can get through it. And I just love the writing. It's witty, it is funny, and I really do love the positivity that Ted Lasso brings to coaching. So that was an interesting spot that I'm at. That's what I'm watching. Together, Chrissy and I watch Survivor. So we're on that right now. We do that on Wednesday nights.
Season 97, 98.
45, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
So we watch that together. And then whenever I can squeeze in an IU basketball game or a football game, that's pretty much where we're at. And then Bluey, we just started watching Santa Claus tonight. So got the kiddos to start watching the Santa Claus. No, the original movie.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Yep, the Santa Claus 1.
Season 2 of that so far blows, just so you know.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So we just started that tonight, and we'll continue that as our bedtime routine over this week. We'll probably finish it in a week. So that's what we're watching.
Christmas will be coming up, Jake, and we might have you on before Christmas again. I'm not sure, but what's your favorite Christmas movie of all time? Kind of an odd question to ask. But
why would we have Jake on before Christmas?
I don't know. We never know. We have episodes where we're gonna have guests on. So,
yeah. Well, that's gonna have to be a me and you pre-production meeting then. Conversation.
Oh, okay.
Wow, he doesn't want you on again.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was in the club, but I'm not. Okay, great.
Episode 100, you'll be back, right? I mean, that's all.
Episode 100, I'm there. I am ready. I am ready.
It's gonna be fun.
Gunner, legitimate, put a note down. We do need to talk about that with him.
Yes, we do. Okay.
Like a serious note, like serious topic.
Yeah. No. That's fine. Ready to bring it back. Ready to be part of episode 100 as long as we.
It won't be 5 hours.
As long as we can plan it and we know about it, it can be that long. Okay,
it's literally scheduled through. Like the whole thing is.
So I'll get to the Christmas question, but like back to like fatherhood as well. Like and knowing your wives is pretty important. So like my wife's love language is quality time, and so that's really big for her. And so if your wives also have highly rated in quality time when your kids are younger, it's hard. Like you got to be very intentional to have quality time together. And then so if you're pulled away for 5 hours to go record an episode, okay, and you have a small child that both of you have, and then your wife is left alone with one or with two, they might not appreciate you being gone for that long. Okay. Now, as your children get older and are more independent, okay, that level of pressure is not as high. So I say all of that to just be mindful on your guys' account for how long you want it to be. I can go as long as we know it's going to be and tell Chrissy, and we'll be fine. Okay, the kids will be all right. Favorite Christmas movie? It is not Die Hard, because as much as I want that to be a Christmas movie, it's not. Okay, it is a July release, so it's a summer blockbuster movie. So that's where we're at. Okay.
Boom. Suck it.
I think
everybody who thinks it is.
Oh man. A movie that I don't think is very good at all, but we watched a ton of times, is Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way. It's a terrible movie.
So bad.
It's a terrible movie, but we watched it. We had that bad boy on VHS. That thing got rewound a bunch. Okay, if you press stop and then you press fast or rewind twice, it goes faster. I swear it does. I swear it's like it's the fast mode. But I think to answer your question for real, it has to be, for me, it has to be Elf. And I know that's a Will Ferrell movie. You're not big on Will Ferrell, Hunter, but it's like
I enjoy Elf.
It's such a good Christmas movie. It's got a great story arc. It makes you laugh. It can make you cry a little bit, maybe. Not, I mean, you got to be really sensitive to it, I think. But it's excellent. And like the story of how they created, like how they shot it. They did one of those like how the movie was made specials on Elf, and it was actually pretty cool because most of the movie was actually shot in Vancouver, and they had to shoot the New York scenes in like a couple days. Like they did not have a lot of time to shoot all those scenes where he's actually in the city. So
Was that
that's
was
pretty
that
cool.
on Netflix? Movies that made us.
Yes,
Yeah.
movies that made us. Elf. That was really good.
Great show.
I was gonna say, if you guys haven't and you guys are big movie people, please go check out the movies that made us, because every single one is
good.
phenomenal. It's so good. I enjoyed that series. I wish they'd bring it back. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably done making them, but
No, they
I
should do
I
a
really liked it.
they should do a Mortal Kombat one. Movies that made us. Mortal Kombat made us. How'd they make Mortal Kombat?
Oh Lord.
CGI. That's
No?
CGI.
Okay, that's fine.
Bad CGI.
What about you guys? I'm getting all the questions here. Let's get somebody else going.
I have one that I watch every year, and I have two I watch every year, but I won't call the one because the one is a family movie. That's It's a Wonderful Life. That one, but Christmas with the Cranks, man. I love that movie. I don't know why. I love it. It's a good Christmas movie. It's great. Makes you feel good. Yeah. Colton?
I would probably go with White Christmas and Christmas Vacation.
Thank you. I was waiting for somebody. Good golly, if nobody said it, I was going to
doesn't
bring
like
it
National
back.
Lampoons.
I mean,
you can't go wrong with them.
That is a top tier Christmas movie. Top tier.
Back to movie quotes that you live by. Stop laughing.
Grace.
He died 30 years ago. I pledge allegiance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that movie, that whole dang movie is.
Especially this time of the year, Colton will be quoting it. At least once a day.
Colton is Cousin Eddie. Colton is Cousin Eddie. Like
the
that's
gift,
what it
or
is.
he's Clark.
That keeps on giving.
I don't know. Just like the Clark goes, oh, the channel 7 News saw Santa coming down over the Hudson River. You serious, Clark?
Oh my God.
She wraps her cat. The cat electrocutes itself under the chair.
Jello mold.
The Jello mold. The turkey comes out beautiful. And then he slices. It opens up. He's got to swish water around.
Yeah. So fun.
Oh.
So dang fun. All right. Now that we've got some other stuff out of the way, random conversations, this is a cluster, like you said, of an episode.
No.
That's great. This is great.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery
This is what
box.
listeners are here for it.
Yes. If the listeners are still here, they are in for this.
Yes. Thank you for the 4 that are still listening.
Yeah.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Stay strong.
Stay strong, little root.
Oh, Black Sheep? You're just gonna throw a Black Sheep reference out there?
You want to play pocket pool?
You mean the movie that Chris Farley didn't want to shoot, but they had to shoot because they made so much money off of Tommy Boy?
Off the Tommy Boy, yeah. Just goes to show that.
Listen, Colton, stop it. Gunnar wanted to move on. He definitely made the transition. You brought it back.
Okay, I'm all for movie quotes.
No, that's all right.
Quotes are life.
Football is life. Sorry, that's Ted Lasso.
Okay, so I do have a question. What's your best dad memory thus far? Something funny the kids have done, something that you've done, something that your wife has done.
I think so. It's very interesting to see what your kids' personalities are going to be. So are their personalities genetic, or is it just an environment that they grow up in that they kind of form their personality? And I can't tell you one way or the other whether that happens one way or the other, maybe a little bit of both, but I don't know that I have one significant memory, but I do enjoy watching how Aurora has kind of grown and how she's like where she's when she's funny. So when she can tell a joke, because she's getting to the age where she can tell jokes. So she'll come up with a joke. Some of them hit and some of them are way off. And it's some of them
Which
that are way
ones are
off
funnier?
are just funnier, right? It's just funnier sometimes when they're like, that's awesome. I don't get that at all, but that's great. Um, and how you know, she's a little bit more cautious, but she does enjoy certain things and like wants to be involved in some sports, but some dance too. And she's going to chess club, which is a new thing that they're doing. They have chess club for first grade. So she's been going to that, which is like a new, it's like whenever they get this new interest, and if it's an interest that you either know about or that you share, it's kind of exciting because I haven't played chess since Colton and I used to play one-on-one back in the day. So there was a time in our lives where Chrissy and I were living in the apartment. Colton was living at home. Were you at home?
Yeah, I was at the house.
Yeah, you were at the house, and so Hunter, what Colton would do is he would just like come over to our apartment that was in Warsaw, and on like once a week he'd come over for like a couple hours, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
It was Tuesday nights that we would play chess and then we'd watch the new Taj.0 episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So yep, that's what we would do. So yeah, he would just come over. We would just play chess. Like we would just play games of chess. And we knew how to play when we started, and then we would get better. Like as we were playing more, we could start seeing the board. So like Aurora's interested in that now. And so it's like that kind of spurred my interest in chess a little bit, that like I can teach her about it, and she's learning the rules, and she just shows an interest in it. And if your kids can show an interest in that, and that's something that you also enjoy, you kind of find that joy and happiness in it too. And then Xander, he's just a funny kid. He's a really funny kid. He's got like comedic timing that you can't teach it. Like he has tone and he has looks. So he will just like he'll kind of turn his head and he'll look at you, and it'll be the perfect moment of when he's making a joke about something, and it just works. Yep, he just does it. And um I think it's been very interesting to kind of see how your kids' personalities will go and who they will become, and how you can help mold that. I believe you can help guide them in how they handle frustration, how they handle anger, how they handle sharing with their sibling, how they handle um, when they're happy for their sibling rather than just happy for themselves. Because to be happy for somebody else is also a really important skill and trait that you want your son or daughter to have, that they can show that happiness for somebody else and be genuinely joyful for somebody else. That just makes them into a more agreeable person, likable person, and so they can have friends, and maybe form relationships with somebody.
Yeah.
So having that impact is important, but also just seeing yourself in your kids sometimes is kind of interesting, that you can kind of be like, yep, that's me, or yep, that's Chrissy. So sorry, it's not a one moment, but it's kind of been an evolution of getting to know my kids and their personalities as they've grown.
Awesome. Colton?
Oh, William, he is something else. I think my favorite thing that he does is when he says thank you, when I don't have to remind him. If you do something for him, he knows when to say thank you. He every once in a while he'll just say, love you, daddy, or it's just little things like that that just melt your heart. And then there's moments where tonight, for example, he screamed for 20 minutes because he didn't want to eat his dinner. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So then once he finally calms down and you say, hey, buddy, do you want some milk? He'll go, yes. And then you give it to him and he'll go, thank you, daddy. And I'm just like, man, I could have just threw you through the wall and now you hit me with that. It's like, oh, melts your heart. So he's in that stage where he's doing, I think he's doing a really good job with learning from others. Especially with daycare. I feel like there are some kids there who are not being raised the same way William is. Because if I ask William to put something away, William goes, okay, daddy. And he goes and he puts it away. And then other kids, the same thing happens. And it's, run to the other side of the room and not do that and get something else out.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder. But yeah, and Josie, she's just going through all the new stuff. So nothing too exciting there going on yet. So, but yeah, William, he's something else. He's something else, man.
I swear, like, I feel like I saw him a couple months ago and he couldn't even hardly say much of anything, maybe names, and now he's like talking like too much.
He won't
like,
shut up.
It's like this dude's almost forming a sentence.
Oh, he can sing the ABCs, sings
Yeah,
ABCs, and he'll sing songs, and he's just, man, kid. I think the kid's gonna have a big heart. I really do.
It's that from
And
dear old Uncle Gunner.
I'd be okay with that. But I mean, just watching him love on his sister, and I mean, love on her, like he just loves that baby to death. And it's not a good night if he doesn't get to see her, hold her, give her a kiss, let you know that she's there. So, I mean, he came in tonight, blankets and 3 blankets from the ride and daycare. And he comes in, walks right past my wife and goes, Josie, and then goes and puts a blanket on her swing. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, so I think he's gonna have a big heart.
Nice. Very nice. I like
What
it.
about you, Gunner?
Can we ask questions to you? Or is this just you asking us questions because we've been through it? Or
yeah, I mean, sure.
You're in like I said, you're in a different spot than Jake and I, and I'm in a different spot in Jake. So
yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your experiences with the black tar, because I always find that fascinating.
A lot of people said like, oh, it's like the weirdest thing. Like it's literally just black, and I'm like, so the whole in the hospital, Sarah was immobile for 2 days, so 2.5 days. So I did everything right, and this is also kind of goes into my moment, and it's more of as a husband than a dad, because I'd only been a dad for a little bit, but Sarah has never been around babies. She's never had really a baby in the family. She never changed a diaper before Sophia was born. So I kind of had to like walk her through and teach her how to use things like strollers and car seats and all this stuff. So the moment that she was able to move around, she grabbed the baby, and it was like she'd been holding babies her whole life. Like, it was crazy to see the instinct kick in, and she just did it. And I was like, oh, I guess no worries. And so that was like one of those moments I was like, I knew she could. I just figured she'd be a little bit more like apprehensive about it and not like jump right into it. So yeah, the black tar wasn't a big deal. I've changed diapers before. It was just it was weird, and they really explained it to me, but it was like the sludge.
Okay. And then how did we like the transition from the black tar to the
green,
orange,
to
to
yellow,
the green,
orange?
or yellow, orange? Like, so there's transitions. And for those of you who don't have children, don't worry. If you are blessed with children, you will understand this, and you will be like, oh, that's what they're talking about, if you remember it.
I think, honestly, I'm more scared for when it's actual smelly solid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There is something different about this being my child's poop.
Yeah.
Like you just,
You just
whether
do
it's
it.
throw up or poop and it's your own kid, you're like,
Yeah,
just do
no,
it.
it's on my
Like,
hand. I'll just wipe it off with a wipe and go on with my regular life.
correct. But when it's somebody else's kid, it's like,
Yeah.
It can be a little bit different on that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
never really thought about that, but yeah, changing diapers, I don't even like think about what's on my hands. I just wash them afterwards because that's kind of a
Yep.
routine thing. But yeah, none of that really bothered me as much. I thought when they mentioned the tar and the black tar, I was like, oh, that's kind of gross. And then I saw it and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, really? That's not bad. But
Yeah, no, just it took a couple extra wipes.
yeah, couple extra wipes.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like you had some preparation going into it. If you've never been told that before, somebody could look at that and be like, "What is this? Why this isn't normal because all you know is poop, and this
Well,
is not poop."
Gunnar,
Yeah.
you had that happen.
I did have that happen.
Not like
Okay.
that, but
And I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's something that people should know. I don't know why nobody ever told us this. And I mean, obviously, Colton's wife works in labor and delivery, so she knew all this stuff. So she's kind of our fall person if something happens where we weren't sure. And literally, like 3 days after we're home, we're going to change a diaper, and there's blood, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
what's going on? I was like, okay, we'll wait till the next diaper and we'll check it. And then we got to the next diaper and there was blood. Well, Sarah goes out and calls her mom, and I'm like, Sarah, why didn't you just call Bree? And she's like, oh, you're right, call Bree. And she's like, yeah, little girls can have mini periods. And I was like, yeah, that's
Yep.
the most interesting thing that nobody told me. And why would nobody tell you that? Like, if somebody's bleeding, it's not good.
Right.
oh, movie quote. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Yeah,
But yeah,
that's true.
so that
That's true.
was the moment. That was the one thing that has really happened that was like, oh God, what's happening? And yeah, I think we actually mentioned that to the doctor when we went back. We're like, why didn't we know about this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not super common, I guess, but
Hmm.
definitely interesting.
Can happen. Can happen. Yeah. Yeah. I think another stage that you'll get to is where you can't figure out what's wrong.
Mm.
If you're
What's
not,
the cry mean?
yep.
Oh, dude,
Like
that's the worst.
you just can't come up with a reason why this just isn't changing. Why this persona that this child has right now is not changing. I've done everything I've held up my end of the bargain. I've done everything for you.
Change your diaper? I fed you?
You don't have a fever. There's no redness anywhere. You are not uncomfortable. I am moving around. You are dry and well fed. In fact, you've spit up on me because you have eaten too much. Stop the crying.
Yes.
And that is peak frustration for an infant. Um, toddlers bring their own bits of frustration, but they can also communicate in some way. So that's both a blessing and a curse because your frustration could stem from their communication instead. And then as they get older and as they don't listen to you, that becomes your next source of
So
frustration.
you're
And you've
saying is
got to,
having a kid is frustrating.
it can be, it absolutely can be. And it's figuring out when the frustrations need to be teaching points and when the frustrations you just need to deal with your own frustrations and let either natural consequences take hold or allow it, right? Because you're either going to teach them or you're just going to allow it. And so you've got to figure out what you want to do. And so, for example, tonight we have a bouncy house in our playroom, the other side of the computer, and they wanted to jump in it with all the lights off. And so I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to get hurt on that. Okay. Now the level of their hurt is going to be significantly low. Like it's a small bouncy house. It's not a huge thing, and they can't really jump and bounce that high. But they're going to end up hitting heads, or someone's going to get stepped on, or something, right? And it's like, yep, you can do that. Go ahead. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, boom, we hit heads, and we come out crying. And they're fine. There's no blood, there's no swelling, there'll be no bruising, like it's their kids. And it's that moment of, okay, so if we continue to jump with the lights off in the bouncy house, this is what could happen. So if you don't want this to happen, we need to turn the lights back on. But if you want to hit heads again and get hurt, you can do it again. And what did they choose? We flipped on every light downstairs because they didn't want to do that again. So as they get older, as they're able to learn new things, maybe that's part of it, is trying to figure out where you want to interject yourself as a dad. What do you want to allow, and then what do you just want to teach? And that's where I find myself right now at it.
I can think of one thing I'm teaching. Sophia is right there.
Not even your first student.
Yeah.
You'll have to find a moment, though, if your kids aren't interested in what you're interested in.
Yeah,
that'll be that's always a wild card.
That's me. I'm gonna be like, well, she doesn't want to play drums. She wants to play bass. I'm gonna call her Uncle Colton.
It's funny you mentioned that, because William has just gotten into basketball. He's starting to watch sports a little bit and not get so mad, like when sports is on, like when football's on, but like basketball, it's like, hey buddy, you want to watch basketball? I go, basketball? And he'll get excited. And I honestly think it's just because I let him stay up a little later. But I remember my dad doing that for me when I was young. Obviously, I don't remember it when I was 2, but he says he used to do it, so I believe him. So, I mean, we haven't had that moment yet where he hasn't been like, no, I don't want any part of that anything that I enjoy or like. If anything, I'd hope he really gets more into that drum set.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's yeah, haven't got to that stage yet. So I'm kind of curious, because I think the wife wants to, like, next summer start putting him into some
activities.
Sport. Yeah, like Y sport stuff. And I don't know how I feel about Y sports personally, but yeah, dude, that kid loves soccer. He's got a really good touch, and I know nothing. I know little about soccer, but he's got a really good foot-eye coordination. So
yeah,
he loves kicking soccer balls. So
yeah. All right, I got a couple more random questions. Do you guys have any, like, Jake? Let's start with Jake. Jake, do you have any casual activities that you do with the kids to kind of get their attention taken away? Like go for a walk, take them out, ride bikes, anything like that?
I mean, if the weather's nice, we'll ride bikes. We all have bikes as a family, so everybody can ride their own bike. They also have scooters, so if they want to ride their scooter, they can. Although Xander gets tired riding his scooter, so then I end up just carrying it and he's walking. We have trampoline in the backyard, so we'll do trampoline and sprinkler, and these are all warm weather activities. But we love going to the parks. We've gone to every park that's in Warsaw, and we rotate, and they've got different parks here that they like. Indoors, it's board games. It's absolutely board games. They love playing board games, and that's been something that I've passed along to them.
I wonder where they got it from.
Right. It's just it's part of what we enjoy doing, and I like teaching them new board games and watching them kind of make decisions and compete with one another and against me, and teach how to win, teach how to lose, that kind of stuff with it. But if it's going to be indoor activity, board games, jumping in the bouncy house. We've been playing pig on the little basketball hoop that's downstairs too. So we've been playing pig and horse. So we're getting into that competition a little bit. So we're starting to get into that, like, you kind of compete. And, as you have siblings, as you get older, like that's part of that process is, Jordan and I would compete against one another in all the games and activities that we could. And that was just part of growing up and building that bond. So those are some of the things we like to do.
Nice. Holden, you got anything with William?
I mean, he really enjoys. I can get him to sit down and watch a movie full length. Bree does a lot better job of getting him outside. It's not the fact that I don't want to go outside. It's just, it's always soccer 9 times out of 10, or he likes to play baseball. He likes to do the sport. He likes to do the sports thing. Go on walks when it's nice out. This is our first winter, as full winter in the new house, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what he likes to do. But I'll be honest, this kid, he loves books. He loves books, and he's really gotten into like Hot Wheel cars and monster trucks. And if you spend 5 minutes around it, he's probably going to talk about animals and monster trucks, and anything with those two things he's there for 100%. So he's really starting to really show his imagination. I would say he's really starting to really get into that. So
yeah, nice. Ours, we just go on walks. That's our thing right now.
yeah,
since it's still a little nicer out there in the afternoons, we still try to get out for a good walk. But I know that's going to go away, so we're going to have to figure something else out. But
what's something that you hope to do? Since I know Gunter, you're a little bit earlier in it.
Something that we hope to do. When she's a little bit older and can understand, definitely watching movies. That's a big one for me. Is we'll be showing her movies that I've grown to love. That way she knows what I'm saying when I quote random movies.
Oh, okay. Let's hold on. I want to explore that just a little bit more. Okay, because we also watch movies, but obviously want to keep them appropriate. Okay, so
she's watching all these.
So I'm going to say, going off your wall, at what age would you find each one of, you can go off that wall, pick a few, do all of them, I don't care. But name an age, right? Like, say like Knight's Tale, 10. They can watch it at 10.
I agree. 10 to 12 for Knight's Tale. The Invisible, I would say probably 13 plus. Back to the Future, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Besides maybe the Peeping Tom one, we'll shield our eyes on that. Beverly Hills Cop, I probably I can skip Beverly Hills Cop. Clerks, I probably never ever watched Clerks. Airheads, that's probably like a 14, 15. Bill and Ted, probably tomorrow.
Yep.
Rockstar, could probably 13 plus. The Goonies, early to late single digits, and then big probably 10 plus. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, I watched war movies way before I was probably supposed to be watching war movies. So Western movies, so spaghetti Westerns, I grew up on those. Like I feel like it was either a Disney movie or a movie I shouldn't have been watching, were the movies I watched growing up as a kid.
We were South Park. I was a South Park kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shaped who I am.
Jake, tell us about the wonderful movies that you grew up with.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. We grew up with nothing but the classics. Okay. Nothing but them. All right. So we grew up on a collection of VHS and then a collection of DVDs. and then a collection of Blu-rays.
Blu-rays. Yep.
So it was in that order. That's where we went. We owned quite a few Disney movies in the VHS where you had that like plastic case where you had to like pop it open, big white border or, colorful border, and many Disney movies that were on there. I mean, one that just got me every time.
Tarzan.
Homeward Bound. No, not Tarzan. Homeward Bound.
Oh, Homeward Bound. Yeah.
Oh, Shadow.
Airbud.
Shadow.
Fox
Airbud.
and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound. Right.
Oh, love Fox and the Hound.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, old school Disney ones.
Did you miss out on the Disney princesses because it was just you and your brother?
So we didn't like Cinderella was a no, seven whites, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Seven Whites and the Snow Dwarfs. That's a good spinoff. I like it. The seven whites and the Snow Dwarfs.
Just gats it up a little bit better.
Let's get that going. Okay, let's get that in production. You're welcome.
It's a real thing.
Yep. I need you to. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. All right.
About to lose it.
I need that script. Okay, by the end of the day. Okay.
Oh, I'll work on it.
Well, COB. So we did. Yeah, I didn't do any of those princess ones. Yeah, none of those were where we were at. Hercules was huge. Toy Story was huge. Aladdin was huge. Yeah, some of those bigger ones.
Yeah, because I was curious because I mean, Gunnar, you grew up at least with a sister, and I had two older sisters, so I mean, I watched.
If I ever have to watch Barbie Swan Lake ever again in my life, I'm gonna.
Well, thankfully, my sisters weren't
myself.
really into the Barbie stuff, and they were. Samantha, by the time I was old enough to really like watch movies, she was really into like the boy band scene, like New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Hanson.
Man, you grew into the man you are today because of it.
Oh yes, I did. Thank you, Hanson.
If it wasn't for my sister watching The Princess Diaries over and over again, I probably would have never fallen in love with those movies. Though I always.
Oh yeah,
movies.
The Princess. Oh my gosh, Oh my gosh, no. Okay, have you guys ever seen every Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movie ever made?
No.
Oh my gosh. So my mom's best friend, they would go over and hang out, and she had they had two daughters. One was a year below me, and then one was a couple years below that. So I mean, and my oldest sister Emily, she would come over, so it would be three girls and me. And when it came time to watch a movie, of course, I got outvoted, and I have seen every Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movie that has ever been made. My Lord, are they bad?
The only thing you need to watch them is Full House.
Rough. Yeah. So Jake, be thankful you never had to really experience those kinds of movies. Not saying that they're bad. They're just not for me. Let's just put that out. I'll put that out there.
I mean, come on, Colton. Make a hard line. They're terrible.
Yeah, probably absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more, and you guys help me kind of segue into this one, and then I'll get us out of here. Best childhood memory for you. One of your favorite memories to look back on. And I've mentioned mine before, so I'll do mine. And my dad was big influence on me for watching movies, and it always ties back into movies for me most of the time. But the first time we watched Bill and Ted, and I remember that moment. It was around the 4th of July, or it was around a Slam Jam, which is what the party they used to throw. And everybody had tents, and we had a shed out back that had a bunk in it, and we all stayed in there. And I remember going back in the house. My dad was laying on the couch, and he was watching Bill and Ted, and I just laid on the other couch and just watched it with him. And just that moment of watching that movie is why I love movies so much, is because I was able to watch those and really enjoy them. But that's one of my favorites. There are tons of others, but Colton,
I'll let you go.
Do you know what the question was?
I do not know what the question was.
I figured.
No
Your favorite childhood
way.
memory.
Favorite childhood memory.
Yes, yours.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry, listeners. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
first off, the phone. I was talking to the wife. Everybody, calm down. I don't know.
Wow. If Madden
Okay,
had
let's
a
hear it. Let's hear it.
multitasking rating, Colton's would be 12.
We're literally in his ears.
Literally tone you guys out.
Yeah, we finished. You finished answering. I think Jake asked you or said something. You went, yeah,
Yeah.
Don't even remember.
yeah. You just okay. Favorite childhood memory.
Childhood memory. I mean, that's a tough one. Man, I wish I could come up with something better, but I really just can't. I mean, I would say honestly, it would be the family vacations we took to Tennessee growing up. Those are some good times. Um, Nice little 7.5, 8.5 hour car ride together with my sisters, and really cherishing those memories and those moments a lot more now, obviously. And yeah, I would probably go with that. I'd probably go sentimental.
Nice. Snake.
So my favorite childhood memory is actually a story that I told at my dad's funeral, which was in 2000, 2000 or 2001. We were living in Deputy, Indiana. It's in southern Indiana.
Deputy.
It's about 4.5 hours away.
It's a good
We
story.
lived on a small house, but it had 49 acres, I believe, of land, and like 40 of that was wooded. So my dad would hunt. He actually got a couple bucks on our land that he got. And so we had a pole barn, we had a pond. It was just an experience where I was between fourth grade and sixth grade, and got to like literally go hike in the woods. And like I got lost one day, and my dad built this like a treehouse. We built like a zip line, and one day on the zip line I fell off and almost impaled myself by a tree root. That was fun too. Landed right beside me. Um, this is just giving you the backstory. Like this is a very rural area we were at. So before the pole barn was built, the land had to be prepped. Okay, and it was going to be built beside our house in like a field. It was already flat and graded, but it had like brush, like long grass on it. Okay. This was in the summertime. It was probably July, I want to say. I remember it was hot and it was dry. It had not rained very much. So my dad was putting the string out. He was putting the string for where the concrete pad was going to go, where the pole barn was going to be raised, and that kind of a thing. So, but I needed to clear this little area out, and so the string is on it, and so this brush needed to be cleared off. There are a couple ways that you can clear the brush. Okay, you can mow it, you can dig it up, or you can burn it. And so my dad decided that the most efficient way to do that would be the last option. And because it's always fun to play with fire, we're gonna burn it. Okay. So we're just gonna do a little controlled burn of the brush. We're gonna burn this little rectangle. It's gonna be fine. We have some running water on our property from a well. He's got the hose hooked up to it. We're good to go. Okay. So it's him and it's Jordan and it's myself that's at home. I don't know where my mom is. She's out somewhere. No idea. He decides that today is the day we're going to light this mother and we're going to let burn. The day that he decides, again, I believe it's July. It hasn't rained in a month, and the wind is about somewhere between 12 to 20 miles an hour. I'm guessing in my 12-year-old state. So, as every commercial you've ever seen that Smokey tells you only you can prevent forest fires. My dad did not listen to that. And so he decides to light this, and it takes pretty quick. So he's trying to control it with the hose. We're watching this from a safe distance, realizing that the blaze is starting to get out of control. He starts yelling at myself and Jordan to go get trash cans. So we go in the house, grab the trash can liner and trash can we can, and start filling it with water out of the other spigot that we have by our house, and then running the buckets over to him so that he can take the bucket and then throw it on the fire, and then run and get more water and that kind of a thing. We are not making any headway. The flames are getting bigger and they're getting further out as they're spreading across the field. Okay, and they're going towards a tree line. They're going towards the trees that eventually lead to our neighbor's house. So there is a risk here where this fire will continue to spread and it will engulf the forest, and it will be a full-fledged forest fire, and our neighbor's house will get burned down. So my dad yells and says, "Jake, get on your bike, ride to the neighbors and call 911. Why I couldn't just call 911, I don't know. I'm 12. I'm capable of pushing 3 numbers and telling them where we live. But I have to go to the neighbor's house. I presume to warn them that there's this fire approaching their property. So I get on my bike. Now our driveway is not a nice little cul-de-sac, little driveway that some of us might have. It is half a mile of gravel to get to the road that is beside where our neighbors live. So I'm pedaling as fast as I can to get down there. Jordan's coming, but he's a little bit ways away because he's in 3rd grade at this time. So he just can't keep up with me. And so I get down there, you jump off the bike because it's still rolling, and you run, and I'm pounding on the door. And eventually they answer, and I tell them what's going on. They're in shock. They call the fire department. Fire department shows up. They bring their trucks down. We're like at the end of the driveway, waving them down to come down our driveway to get back to where this fire's at. We can see the smoke rising above the trees. So I don't know how close it ends up getting. I don't know where it's at. Could be in the trees this way. Fire trucks get going down. Water tank comes in. So then I hop on my bike and Jordan hops on his bike and we ride back. We turn the corner past the woods and get to see it. And this field is charred. The whole field is like gone black. And so the fire department get there, they stop it, they get the fire out, it doesn't reach the woods, just the field is burned. It was a couple acres, maybe one or 2 acres of field, okay, that was there. And so my dad has to fill out an incident report because the fire department was there. So they got to know what happened and why. So he's signing all this stuff. While he's filling that out, my mom's car comes down the driveway and makes the turn in. And to this day, I don't know how the conversation went. I can imagine how it went, but to have my mom have Jordan and myself come up to her, like we're covered in soot, like our faces are black and sweaty because we rode our bikes, and like we're excited because the fire department was here and they put out this fire. We thought the forest was going to go up, and I don't know how that conversation went. I just know that I can assume that my mom was very displeased with my dad's choices and the risk that he put the neighbors in, as well as us, his children in, to go stop the forest fire that was impending on this brush fire that he started and he was responsible for, because he decided that would be the most efficient way to clear the pit. So
okay, so I've always wanted to ask a question. Okay, because I've heard this, and it seems like every time I hear it, I'm never in a good place to be able to ask a great follow-up question.
Okay, sure.
Did you have something to mow that area?
Yes,
I figured.
Absolutely.
I figured.
Absolutely. At that time, we had a Massey Ferguson tractor, an old Massey Ferguson that had a bushwhacker on the back that had a full deck that was like 65-inch deck that was on the back, that it very well could have done the job to mow that down.
Could have done that in 10 minutes.
Yes. Mow it down, rake it. mow it again, rake it, and just keep raking all that brush out, and then you'll be good. But it would have taken.
The thing I love about that story is that I know your dad, and of those three options, I already knew there was only one option to him.
There's only one, and it involves fire.
Light it up.
So
I
yes,
mean, that's hysterical. I love that story.
Is one of my favorite stories to tell about my dad. There are plenty of others that are available as well, but I think that one epitomized a lot of decision making, a lot of terror that was felt by myself and Jordan in that, the excitement as well. But I just love telling that story. So I know that was your last question, Gunnar. So I have a question for you guys on the topic of fatherhood. If you want, if I can ask it and be the last one here.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know what you would, and Colton, you can speak to either one. Gunnar, you only have one option, but or you can speak to both. But what would you want to tell your son, your daughter? What would you want to say to them if they were listening to this? This is going to be archived, and they are just on that verge of going off to leave your house to start their job, start their career, or go to college, or move out, that kind of a thing. What would you want to tell them? What would you hope that they were like? What kind of wisdom would you want to instill upon them? I'd just be curious to know what you would hope for them as they venture out into the world and start their own life.
Something that my dad always has told me, and it's been the way that he's lived his life and the way that I've lived my life ever since, and that is, no matter how bad it is or how bad it feels or how much it's going to affect you in a negative way, you'll always make it through that moment, whatever happens, whether it's financial hardship or the death in the family or anything like that. There's always the next day. There's always, you're gonna make it through, and I've lived my life that way my whole life because he's always said it. And I mean, and it feels so true. And I feel like, especially if she's going, to get married or moving off to college or doing something like that, that's gonna be, listen, bad things are gonna happen. That's just life, and there's always a better thing coming. So
It's good, man. That's good. If I don't teach my children that they need to live their life more than a quarter mile at a time, then I might have failed as a father.
Family.
All right. I walked into that one. Now, what's your serious answer,
did.
Paul?
Yeah, you did. Oh, come on.
Well, Hunter already gave me the real answer, so I need you to give me a real answer too.
Oh no, my real answer was actually, you can live your life quarter mile at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't go out to the desert to race.
Oh, come
Go
on.
ahead, Colton.
Oh gosh. I feel like a little bit piggybacking on what Gunnar had to say, but if they don't know how to love, what that looks like, what that feels like, what that shows, I think I would have failed as a father in that department. I think that's a huge thing to know how to do, not only to know how to give it, but also how to receive it. And love is a very, very complex emotion. Very, very complex. Love will make you do stupid things. And I feel like that's, especially in my job as a father, is to help them learn that emotion. And if they're not, and I think that, and I'm a person of doing, monkey see, monkey do. So if my actions aren't a positive mirror of love, then how can I expect them to show that love to me and to others? So that's my biggest thing, is them understanding what love looks like, what it feels like, what it's like to give that love, and what it's like to receive that love. And it's one of the most important things that I can do as a father, is to teach them what love is and what it
Love
looks like.
love always seems like the one that you can use the most improperly also, especially when you're younger. I feel like it's the one that you say or you feel that you love somebody, but it's also like, you're younger, it doesn't really mean anything. And then you finally find that one person or your family, and it's like, that's how you know what really, really is.
What real love is. And I feel like that's my job as a father, is to teach them and to show them what real love is and looks like. Because I think that their idea of love will come from how they see it being played through the eyes of me and my wife. So I think that's a very important role. I think it's an important role for both of you. Anybody who's listening to this, anybody who's got kids, like, love can be used for good and for bad. And I think a lot of the times it gets misused a lot of the times because they don't know where that love's coming from or know what to do with that love. So
What is love?
Okay. Well, I appreciate you both sharing that. I think it's something that I kind of wrestle with a little bit, and just knowing, like, I think having a boy and a girl too kind of changes like what you want to kind of what your hopes might be for them, that they would know. It just does, like, what I hope Aurora knows, and how she looks for love, like you're talking about, Colton. Like, how does she know what to look for, and if she's going to be looking for a spouse, and what qualities that person should possess that would be respectable for her. And so, having her have a sense of independence and being able to um, handle whatever life is going to throw at her, and know, like you said, Gunnar, that it's not going to be the biggest, like what your dad says, is not going to be the biggest thing. Like, you're going to be able to get through it, and this too shall pass. And you will be able to handle this, because God's not going to give you anything bigger than what you're ready for at this moment. And you are ready for right now, and whatever challenge it is, you can face it, and nothing is too big for you. And so that's probably what I would say I would hope for her and for Xander, just to be a man that somebody can look up to and look for some strength. And I think it comes back a little bit, and I don't know, Colton, maybe how you would view Josie, you could view her because of your mom. Like, I view Xander through the eyes of, like, my dad.
mm-hmm.
And I heard Jordan Peterson say one time that you should raise your son to be the strongest man at your funeral. And that was that, like the son should be the strongest man at his father's funeral. And that has, like, stuck with me. And that's just, like, personal, because
you've experienced it.
Like, yeah, like, you don't know that until you're there. And
correct.
And I just felt like I was able to be that person for my mom, for Jordan, for everybody else. And I want that for Xander at my funeral. And so that's kind of a different viewpoint for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want him to know that he can be strong, and he can be courageous, and he can handle whatever life's going to give him. So I was just curious, from what you guys, your perspectives, and what you'd want out of your son, out of your daughter. It's always an interesting grounding statement too, to think about too, as we get caught up in life, and what activity we're going to go to next, or whose birthday party we're going to go to next, or whose Christmas or Thanksgiving are we going to, like, all these things that come up, that it's like, they're important because we're going to spend time with our families, but we also have a very important job of raising our sons and our daughters to be individuals that can contribute to our society, and that can be individuals that we're proud of one day, because I know I'm proud of my kids, and I know you guys are proud of your kids too. And so you can directly influence that. So Gunnar and Colton, I'll just between the two of you and me here and the listeners, if you have kids as well, you are making an impact, and your kids will watch you every second of every day. So how you treat your wife, how you treat their brother, their sister, all the interactions, the things that you're passionate about, they are catching on to that, and they will see that. And it's just so important to set the example for them. And even in your frustration and how you handle your darkest days, they are watching you. So it's very important, and continue to be there, because we're all tired and we all don't want to do it, and we all wish we had days off. We do, but you don't. You do not, and every day matters. So
we take no days off.
That's right. And I also heard a statistic where it's like your kids will live with you for 18 years, and then after that they will only live with you for one more year total. So you only have this amount of time with them, and then they will go off, and then you will be left without seeing them every day and having that influence and having that impact. So you are making a difference, Gunnar and Colton, and our listeners.
Wow. You want to talk about a episode that just went from
Goofy.
our normal
Goofy
talks
to
getting deep.
Well, it's the mystery box. It's fatherhood.
It's a mystery box.
It's a deep subject.
The Call Guys Dadcast.
The Dadcast.
The Dadcast. And Jake, I want to thank you. I'm so excited for, oh gosh, this is episode 88. And actually, you just mentioned Thanksgiving. This comes out after Thanksgiving. So happy holidays, everybody. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. This is the Monday after. But yeah, we'll see you back here for at least episode 100, if not before. We do have a genre series that's coming up that might be a really good series to have you on as a guest. So
okay. I'm always ready.
Hold up there, boss. That's that pre-production.
Hey, I'm just saying.
We need to have
when we will have that meeting. But I appreciate you coming on. Short notice as per usual.
per the usual. Didn't even know the subject this time, but it's fine.
What'd we give you? 2 days?
At least, yeah.
That's like a lifetime.
Yeah.
That is a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I'm gonna get us out of here.
Do it,
everybody. Thank you for listening to the Call Guys podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast. You can also watch us on YouTube. Just look up the Call Guys podcast. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment on our videos, like our videos. We would love to hear from you. You can send us an email, thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com, if you have any recommendations for the question of the pod, future episodes, anything like that. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/thecallguyspodcast, Instagram @thecallguys, and TikTok @thecallguyspodcast. And Jake, I know we've been working on it with the Emperor, but we will have an affiliate program coming soon. I'm hoping by the time this comes out, we're getting very close. So yes, that will be soon. We have to get Jake's stuff worked out for that, and I think they've actually got it scheduled to do some of that stuff. So look forward to hearing more about perfectly picked games and all of that stuff. And then when you're done with us, go check out all the other podcasts, goldenmojoent.com, where you can find the Golden 80s, the United States Paranormal, Indiana Chiefs Fans, A Quart of Books and Booze, the Murdnerds. Did I say the Golden 80s? Golden 80s.
Right.
All the podcasts.
We'll be on next week.
Yes. Episode 89, our next addition to the Certified Rotten series, where we're going to watch Cannonball Run. So, yeah, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
Love your brothers.
Love your brother.
Love you, brother.
All right. For all those out there in podcast land, see you next time.
Later.
Bye.
See ya.
My own worst enemy. That's
Worst
Col-
enemy.
That's
Different
cold. That's
song.
Colton. That's Colton. That's your fatherhood epitomized song. I'm my own worst enemy.
Oh, some days.
See?
Hey, Dad, look at me.
Think
Ooh.
back and talk to
Some-
me. Did I grow up according to a plan?
Wow.